So close you can almost taste it.
What? You just gonna walk away? Time to bring the juice.
Never leave a fit behind. Rip it, and bring the juice.
That flavor's just out of reach.
Drop the Legos and bring the juice. Yee.
Obafemi tastes that bitter taste of defeat. We now know who the tribal chief is. There is a new women's intercontinental champion. Sol Ruca will be on the show and so much more. This is the Clash in Italy recap on WWE Now, a WWE and Fanatics original production. Oh, what a show, what a show, what a show. And now another show. Megan Morant coming right off of Clash in Italy. First of all,
I'm a little disappointed. I listen to all of your shows, every single one of them. And this week, you said that since it was an afternoon show, that you were going to roll up wearing a tank top.
Oh, that's true. I thought because the sun's out, the gun's out, but it was a little cloudy. That's all. It was just a little cloudy today, so the guns couldn't officially come out. But we're out in spirit very
much. A little
much.
False advertising for us.
I mean, I thought it was more like a tank top vibe than an actual physical tank top.
And you're wearing a flannel.
Yeah, no, I'm giving tank top. That's my, and you'll see as the show continues. We'll check in again at the end of the program, and you'll find that Sam was really giving tank top today. Flannel appearance short, but he's giving tank top, okay? Because it is an afternoon show. It's like a European vacation, watching Clash in Italy, the crowd in Italy coming absolutely alive, electric from start to finish. But let's talk about this finish, okay? We're going to talk about the match, I promise, the whole way through. But watching Jacob Fatu at the end of this show, this is what charged me up. You know, my favorite thing in wrestling is bloodline lore. I love bloodline lore. And I felt like the end of this show was all bloodline lore when Roman Reigns steps out of the ring and the Usos step outside with Roman. First of all, okay, there was this moment where Jacob is sitting in the corner, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like slumped on that lower turnbuckle, almost realizing, oh my gosh, I gave everything that I had to give. No matter how strong I am, I can't beat Roman Reigns. And I don't have any excuses. This was tribal combat. There was no Jimmy Uso. There was no Jey Uso. Roman said in the match, I didn't ever need any of them. I brought them along because I loved them. Now you're finding out. Every turnbuckle was ripped off, some of it to no effect. Jacob took more Superman punches than anybody's ever taken, yet still, Jacob is slumped in the corner having to look up at Roman Reigns being the undisputed tribal chief, being the world heavyweight champion, and maybe reality setting in that everything Jimmy said was right, that you can't have everything that Roman has, but everything that Roman has is based on sharing with the family. And Jacob had this look on his face, and it was, I would never say fear, but it was almost I don't know if it's helplessness or hopelessness with which he looked.
I think the latter, hopelessness.
Hopelessness.
To me, that's what I took away from it.
You know when the last time I saw that look was?
When?
It was the autumn of 2020 when Jay realized, I'm just not going to be able to beat Roman Reigns. It was the very beginning of the bloodline when Jey Uso twice tried to stop Roman and realized it's just not going to happen. Like, it really was the only option that there ever was. Join Roman or nothing. Or there's nothing for you. And Jacob was in that position, right? Mm-hmm. It's like either join Roman now or literally just be fired. That's what, if you're not going to acknowledge Roman now,
where do you go?
You got no place left to go. Except maybe that's not true.
Because you're talking about who we saw afterwards?
That the bloodline is ultimately still splintered. And Roman, I don't know if he fully plans on reforming this family and just putting everybody all on the same page or what exactly he's going to do. But you got to this spot where the Usos were telling Jacob, all right, come along with us. I mean, Jay was even...
It was wild to see because Jacob's one who always says, I'm going to dog walk your ass.
I know.
And then all of a sudden, he's the one who's being told what to do.
It was like in The Sopranos when Carmela starts asking her friend, come and help me. And the friend realizes what she's gotten herself into and how insulting and condescending it is. But really, what choice does she have?
And because of the point you brought up, the fact that Jay's the one going to get.
Right. And maybe, and you wonder too, if Jay, because he's got that built-in trauma from years ago.
Sure.
Maybe he likes it. Maybe he enjoys being the one that's like, okay, I had to live through this, but now I can make somebody else live through it. Hurt people hurt people.
That's what they say.
And that is something that occurred to me when Jay was the one being aggressive about saying, hey, Jacob, fall in line, right? It's like an older brother being mean to his younger sibling because he's had to take the brunt from the parents. So now he's going to try to flex his power on the sibling. Except as Jacob is looking, and he can't snap back.
No.
He can't. Who do you think you are to talk to me? He's not in that position.
Especially after he just lost to Roman Reigns.
He lost in tribal combat. Tribal combat, that was it.
That's it.
I was asked on Thursday, you love Roman, you love Jacob. Like, whose side are you on at the end of this thing?
Romans.
And I said, I'm on the side of the tribal chief. That's what the laws of tribal combat are. Tribal combat leaves you going, okay, this is who the tribal chief is. This is who we are loyal to. And Jacob knows this. There are not many laws that Jacob respects, but the laws of tribal combat are laws that everybody abides by, except Jacob, standing outside the ring, looking down the aisle and seeing Jimmy and Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. But then over to Jacob's right over here, seeing that Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga and Tama Tonga are all there. Of course, Tama Tonga has fallen in line. And Jacob looking, realizing that's the life that I left. When Jacob showed up in WWE, his whole thing was there. He was there to serve Solo Sikoa.
I love you, Solo.
It was an era that
for months.
We all still miss the era.
It was fantastic.
The era.
Yes.
But he stopped it. He said, no, I'm not here to be subservient to Solo Sikoa. But now as he's looking down the aisle at Roman Reigns and the Usos, it felt like to me, Jacob was in this spot where he's going, well, there's the devil that I know and there's the devil that I don't. He knows Roman, but he's never served Roman Reigns. Roman said specifically, and this could be manipulation. This could be a trigger word, right? Roman said, you'll serve me and you'll love me.
You'll learn to love me.
Do you think he's using the word love by mistake?
No.
I mean, he knows that's where Jacob came from with Solo Sikoa. So now Jacob's sitting there going like, wait, maybe there is an option B, but option B is going back to this life with Solo that I've already left.
And it's like he's looking at his past. And Jacob, who he is now, has come a long way from the I Love You Solo era. Even though we did love the I Love You Solo era, whenever you see your past in your rearview mirror, it can be a little scary.
But maybe it's not in his rearview mirror, because is the future the I Love You Roman era? Is that any different? You know what I mean? I think that's more, it's sitting there going like, well, wait. Like, no, I'm not in the I Love You Solo era anymore. I'm walking towards the I Love You Roman era.
You think you get so far and then you're back
right
where you started.
And you go, maybe I didn't go at all. And maybe, on one end, you've got this sure thing, but there's a leader that you're following. On the other end is a rebel force from within the family. Now, Roman also looked right at Solo and said, I got something for him too. Mm-hmm. And so you wonder, it felt like after Solo lost tribal combat to Roman Reigns at the beginning of 2025.
On Netflix, yes, the debut.
It felt like Roman was perfectly fine letting Solo just go and do his own thing. Mm-hmm. Solo's not claiming the bloodline. He's not claiming he built MFT. He built his own family tree, which are the Tongans that he has with him now. But the question is Solo appearing there? Is it maybe Roman Has he grown weary of Solo having his own family tree, his own subsection over here? Does Roman want this thing that, even though it's not a branched off version of the bloodline, it still feels connected?
It definitely feels connected.
Maybe Roman doesn't want that anymore. Maybe Roman wants to start eliminating threats before they build. I'm sure when Roman won the World Heavyweight Championship, the last thing that he thought was 24 hours later, Jacob is going to confront me. Maybe, like he said to Jacob throughout this whole build, and he said to the Usos, if we don't have his respect, we're not going to have their respect. Mm-hmm. We need to have the respect of the people in this family before we have the respect of the people in the locker room. And maybe he's looking at Solo and going like, hey, dude, you're next.
You're part of that family.
Right. You can exist on your own. Because like Roman said in the match, I'm not here, trying to make you guys fight my battles. We don't all, but ultimately, we're doing business together, and I'm the CEO.
I wonder if Solo was there for the purpose of getting to Jacob or for the purpose of getting to Roman.
Or for the purpose of wherever opportunity may lie.
That's a good point.
That's Solo, I think. Solo's pretty good at recognizing where those spots are to get in. But I mean, the idea of, and that's why it's never over.
No.
That's what we're still in the third inning all those years ago meant. It's never over. There is no 3 acts. There's no beginning, middle, end. There's volumes of books. It's not even chapters. It's volumes of books in this story that can go. And I think that was Roman's plan from the beginning with this bloodline thing, is to create this thing. That's how you make it generational.
Mm-hmm. That's why he's not just trying to put food on his family's table. He's trying to set up
generation after generation after generation. And so this story that we're so used to before the bloodline, it was all like a wrestling storyline that would go, here's the beginning, here's the middle, here's the end. But that's not what this is. This is a different
And then we start a
thing.
new book.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a different thing entirely. And so maybe part of that sort of generational thing is to just make this forever. Make the bloodline forever. And as long as everybody's out there, you never know when, to your point, the past is going to kind of come back on itself. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's what we saw at the end of the show tonight.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see where Solo fits in all of this. If Jacob acknowledges Roman on Monday Night Raw, to me, he has no other option but to do so.
I mean, he left with Roman and the Usos. He ultimately walked down that aisle with them. And it did feel like, after Backlash, he had a different look in his eyes.
Of course.
Than after Clash in Italy.
He wasn't following anybody up the ramp at Backlash.
Yeah, I don't think we're going tomorrow night to Raw and seeing, somebody who's out of control, seeing somebody who's calling people out. I mean, and that's kind of, what are you going to do at this point? The match was exactly what the match was advertised to be, and Roman Reigns won. No ifs, ands, or buts. You can't get around and go like, well, this and that. I mean, they didn't just rip off a turnbuckle. Roman Reigns.
He ripped off all 3.
Without untying anything. He ripped off all 3. He speared Jacob Fatu through the barricade, and not the part of the barricade that always gets speared through, the other part of the barricade.
I felt bad for those poor security guards.
They got run over.
They were just doing their job.
I know.
They were trying to manage the chaos, make sure everybody's staying in their seat.
I mean, can you imagine you're sitting there, because they have to sit there with their backs. They have to sit there with their backs to the action. And all of a sudden, there's just a barricade and 2 giant Samoans on top of them. Like, my life would have flashed before my eyes.
I feel sorry for them.
I know.
They just showed up to work today.
They
did not deserve that.
You know what they thought they were going to do? Just tell parents not to put their kids on their shoulders. Mm-hmm. Get the kid down. Get the kid. And all of a sudden, they're flat on this concrete with 2 of the greatest Samoans to ever compete in this great sport on top of them. It's not good news.
No.
If you're a security guard. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they get time and a half. I don't know how that all works out.
On a Sunday, too?
Yeah, and on a Sunday of all days. There's so many things to do in Turin. Not getting steamrolled by Samoans. That's the bottom of the list. I mean, they were fighting. I don't know who's going to foot the bill. At one point, they were in the concessions. It looked like Spring Stampede or Uncensored 94 between Harlem Heat and the Nasty Boys for a second. Like, they were out in the concessions. I don't remember which show it was. They were in the concessions, and Roman was just throwing snacks out to the crowd.
He's putting food in people's mouths,
Literally.
putting food on people's tables.
Yeah, he's like, bring that
I mean, there
home for
wasn't
dinner.
like theoretically a table, but you get the point. That's what our tribal chief does.
No, yeah, you catch the food, you put it on the table when you get home. Absolutely. Out in the crowd, on those stairs, such a unique looking arena as well.
With those massive staircases.
Yeah, absolutely. Roman and Jacob decided to go up. I mean, Roman pulling out all those Superman punches, and Jacob just whatever adrenaline courses through that dude's body, whatever just gets him to defy what puts down. It really is like a rabid animal.
I was wincing in pain when Roman pulled out the toolbox and just kept going to Jacob's hand because Roman couldn't stop the Tongan death grip. So he said, I'm just going to destroy Jacob Fatu's hand.
Yeah. I'm going to cremate this hand.
And
What I'm going to do.
that's exactly what he did with the toolbox.
And it was effective.
Over and over again, and then took the steel steps and did it once more.
Right. It was effective. I mean, listen, maybe they start using plastic toolboxes or something like that. These toolboxes are not, you know what I mean? Use some kind of like Rubbermaid or something like that to put the tool, maybe like a very strong Tupperware or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know? But no, unfortunately, not in Italy and not tonight, you know, as this hand just got shattered under there. I mean, it was an incredible thing to see. I thought that seeing Roman and again almost going through like a greatest hits scenario, like understanding that this Roman is so different from the Roman that started the bloodline in 2020, but realistically, all of those things put together are what creates who you are today.
Are you talking about the low blow?
It's my favorite kick out of all time. When the first time I saw it, maybe that was when I really realized I'm bloodline for life. The first time I saw it, because I believe he might have used that low blow kick out as early as in his matches with Jey Uso back in 2020. But like, it's the most genius thing I've ever seen, and I don't remember seeing it before Roman was doing it, and it's just amazing.
Not only am I going to kick out, but I'm going to make sure you feel that one.
Yeah, and it's like you can't call me on the low blow or just kicking out.
Kicking out.
Boom.
Oops.
Yeah, I thought it was genius, and we haven't seen it in a very long time.
It's a low blow that you have to kind of tip your cap to and respect it.
You have to. And it's just about knowing.
It's innovative.
It's innovative.
It's crafty.
It's knowing your surroundings. It's slick is what it is. It's very, very slick, I think. Yeah, I mean, Jacob getting speared at the end or Superman punch or whatever it was, and then getting right up only to get caught again. It really is. It's like when you see an animal get hit with a tranquilizer dart, but it keeps coming, and you're like, oh no, I'm cooked. And thank God, right before it sinks its teeth in you, that tranquilizer finally takes effect. But it's that moment between the dart hitting and the thing taking effect, that period of time. I feel like that's where Jacob lives.
Yeah, because I mean, he is this Samoan werewolf with a broken hand,
Yeah.
right? I assume
Well,
it looked like it had to be broken after it
messed up.
took so many
It was pretty messed
toolboxes
up.
to it. He's still going for that Tongan death grip. I mean, Jacob could not be, I mean, at least like Roman ultimately was the one who walked away victorious.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Jacob kept fighting and fighting and fighting no matter what.
Do you think that Roman can stand on this now, right? We've now seen the end of I would presume, the end of this, series of 2 matches with
Yes.
Jacob Fatu.
Yes.
We watched him beat CM Punk for the championship at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Do you think we can sit there and end the conversation about Roman always needed help? Roman always needs help. Roman needs to win by interference. Roman needs to do this. Roman needs to do that. Is that conversation done?
Yes.
Okay. We've also seen Roman nonstop since before WrestleMania.
The vacation conversation,
Can that stop?
that can stop.
But that's Roman, right? That's how dangerous it is. Like the only things you could hold against him were always completely in his control.
Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing to take days off. I'm choosing for interference. The minute that I stop, what are you going to say then? What are you going to say about me now? And you're
People really have to grasp at the straws.
Yeah, because then you're like, oh no,
There's nothing.
he really was. He was just giving this to us. He's
He was doing
decided
it
to,
because
and
he
now I take it
loves
away.
them.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this is dealt with on Monday Night Raw tomorrow.
I know you said going in, I'll support whoever is the tribal chief, but let's be real. You were rooting for Roman, right?
I was rooting for the tribal chief. That's who I'm always rooting for. And my loyalty as the real honorary Uce, as was declared by Jacob Fatu, who absolutely has the power to declare that as an honorary Uce, I would absolutely follow the rules of tribal combat. That's what it is. I love my tribal chief. I love Jacob. I love Jimmy and Jay. I love you solo. I'm very fond of the Tongans as well, quite frankly.
Very nice political answer by you, Sam Roberts.
It
Very nice.
It wasn't
Very
political.
nice.
It wasn't political. It was right. Listen, recently on Raw Recap and on WrestleMania Recap, if I'm not mistaken,
that's right.
we celebrated the juice breaks that you guys take every day. Everybody needs a little juice break. We talked about the trade-offs, the sleep you give up, the social awkwardness that you endure, and the grind that you push through just to get those small victories.
But tonight, the stakes are on a different level. We're at Clash in Italy, where the trade-offs aren't just about laundry or meetings, they're about legacy. On the grandest stage of them all, every superstar has to decide what they're willing to sacrifice to bring the juice and walk out a champion.
I'm sorry, I was just taking a juice break. Let me get back to. I was bringing the juice for a moment. If I could stop myself from bringing the juice, I will tell you, like Cody Rhodes, for example, right? Cody, he was putting it all on the line again to remain the undisputed champion. He knows the trade-off of risking his title to continue to solidify his era. He didn't tap out on his vision. No. He said, and this is what he said, I'm going to bring the juice. And that is a win worth cheering for.
Exactly. Or in the match tonight between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, for a while there, it looked like it was total Jade Cargill domination.
Well, she was bringing the juice for a little bit.
She was.
Yep.
But not on Rhea Ripley's watch. Rhea Ripley cannot tap out to the juice, whether it's a superstar in the ring or you navigating a chaotic Monday morning. Minute Maid and WWE are the ultimate tag team partners.
It's amazing that Rhea Ripley was able to bring the juice without taking a juice break at all.
No break.
She's incredible. We celebrate all of those choices. We celebrate the trade-off, and most importantly, we celebrate the boost of positivity that keeps you in the fight.
So remember, when life tries to put you in a submission hold, don't tap out.
Never tap out on taste. Bring the juice.
The juice. Yeah, nailed that one.
I figured if I did it quicker, it would be tougher for you to do it in unison. That was not helpful. But I will say, that's a good one.
I'm just glad you didn't get embarrassed this time.
Why would I get embarrassed? Oh. Well, I don't know, you bring stuff up. We had a huge rematch on Clash in Italy tonight. Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. And the question was asked by Brock Lesnar. Can Oba take an ass whooping? That's what Brock Lesnar asked. Brock Lesnar said he took one. He took one so much that his emotions took over. And he was feeling it in the moment. And he decided to leave his boots in the ring after Oba Femi took him out.
He called it a career.
He did. And then he changed his mind.
Held up the X and everything.
He did. And he was in his socks. He changed his mind. And it's like, I love that thing. Like, first of all, we're acting like there's never been a wrestler that changed his mind before on retirement. Like, John Cena is literally the only wrestler that's ever actually retired. And I guess the only wrestlers that have ever retired got retired by Gunther.
That's
Everybody
crazy.
else comes back for at least something.
It's crazy.
But Brock Lesnar coming back. And that statistic that Michael Cole gave us, that it's been 24 years since Brock Lesnar wrestled in Europe. I mean, that's and it's not shocking because of that when that music hit, that ovation was so loud for him.
Well, it's also, we talked about this, heading into this Brock Oba match. A lot of people said, if that's it for Brock Lesnar, if WrestleMania was his retirement moment, I'm at peace with how Brock retired. I think it was absolutely done perfect. And I think that adds something extra as well. So yeah, it was 24 years, but this is a guy just 6 weeks ago. You thought maybe you were never going to get to see make an entrance again.
That's true. Everybody there was like, we've never seen him live and we're never going to see him live because he retired at WrestleMania. Paul Heyman made them take him out of the now and put him in the forever on the cold open. Like, it's pretty significant. But Brock, I loved the aggression in Brock Lesnar tonight. He attacks Oba Femi before the bell rings. And then hits him with 4 F5s. And then Obafemi kicks out.
I thought that was it.
Yeah, I really did. I was like, oh, we're going back to rare form with Brock Lesnar. You know, we're going back to the SmackDown Fox premiere, I think it was, with Brock Lesnar, where he's just annihilating people within seconds.
And you talk about the ovation for Brock Lesnar, but I have to point out that the cameras were literally shaking during Oba's entrance. Shaking, Sam.
And they all in unison. Oba, huh, Oba, huh. But, you know, it didn't help. It didn't help when Oba was eating those 4 F5s, but he kicks out. And then you hear Paul Heyman on the outside of the ring yelling, Kimura, Kimura, put him in the Kimura. So he's like, okay. And he put him in the Kimura. But watching Obafemi, and this is why I tell you, other than pro wrestling, shot put is the greatest sport in the world. Like, who can throw the furthest is always going to be the most impressive thing that anybody could do.
Sure.
You know, running the most is also, honestly, it is also on that sort of bare bones, basic human essentials.
Thank you.
So I respect it. But throwing the furthest, it's like,
It's way cooler.
I mean, it goes back to your roots.
And it's more exciting to watch.
When you're a kid, you go like, how do you know who's stronger? Well, he threw way further. Okay, yeah, that's it.
I
He's
can beat you
stronger.
throwing. I'll do it right now.
Oh, there's a kid in my neighborhood who could throw all the way down the street. No.
And the thing about Brock, though, when he has this Kimura locked in, is
Yeah.
he's somebody you go, oh, he actually will break Oba's arm.
Yeah. Remember he broke Cody's arm. He broke Shawn Michaels' arm. So he's got that Kimura locked in. Except Oba's arm is hard to break because it's like
Because it's massive.
beefy arm, you know?
It's the size of most people's entire bodies.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I took that picture with Oba at Saturday Night's Main Event, and it really did look like, oh, that's one of his limbs.
You were like, I can't wear that tank top today.
No, that's what
I
it
gotta
was.
wear the flannel.
That's what it was. But you see the look on Brock Lesnar's face when Oba one-handed is using, and it's not only those shoulders, those shot-putting shoulders, but just those insane quads, those insane legs that Obafemi has on him that allows him to, while Brock is wrapped on him, putting on that Kimura, lift Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar up in the air and slam him down, surviving the Kimura. I mean, insane. An insane visual. Then we get a 5th F5. We get a 6th F5 outside the ring through a table. And I was going, oh, man, I got to be honest. I go, I'm not trying to see this end in a count out. Are we doing a count out right now? I mean, I guess that would mean that Brock went, but are we really doing a count out?
Half a dozen F5s? How does anybody get up from
Through a
that?
table, right?
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I guess we're going to do a count out. Like, whatever.
Well, when it didn't end after the 4th F5, I said, it's definitely right here, the count out. That's where it's happening.
And then the referee gets to like 7 or 8, and Oba just pops up like Michael Myers. And I was like, what? And he gets back in the ring. They go back and forth. But ultimately, he had Brock up for the power bomb. Brock was able to get out of
Which
it.
is amazing that he has Brock Lesnar, of all people, up for the powerbomb after his arm was locked in the Kimura.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, that arm was beaten and damaged.
But Brock gets out of it, hits that 7th F5. 1, 2, 3. Obafemi suffers his first pinfall loss on the main roster. Brock Lesnar beats Obafemi. It was definitely something that I think people realized was a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I think there were a lot of people that were ready for Oba to have a Goldberg-like streak where he just beats everybody for a while and then becomes the champion. Like, it was literally that old story. I got an idea. How about I beat everybody and then I get the belt? That was Oba. That was the plan. You know what I mean? That's where we saw it going.
And with someone like Oba, you go, okay,
Exactly. That's what I want to see. That sounds great. I buy a ticket
great.
for that.
Of course.
Yeah. But Brock goes, no, I don't think it's going to be that easy. Brock Lesnar beating Obafemi. So we talked about, like, turning on Raw tomorrow and, you know, seeing what's going on with the bloodline. What do you think Oba is going to have to say? Like, how does Oba readdress kind of the WWE and the fans and the locker room with us now seeing, like, the idea that Obafemi is unbeatable has proven to be a fallacy.
Yeah, just by, you know, the most accomplished man in all of combat sports, Brock Lesnar, right? I mean, I think the biggest question heading into this was, can Oba respond to an ass beating? And I think despite not coming away with the win, to me, Oba showed that he can respond to it.
By getting pinned?
He did get pinned, but I mean, Sam, there was multiple situations where you said, oh, call the match right now.
Yeah, but then
the
there
fourth
was...
F5. Oh, now the sixth F5 through the announce table. Just end it right here in the
Yeah,
count
but
out.
then there was one where I was like, yeah, end it right here, and they did. And it was Oba losing and Brock winning. Oh, if Oba shows up and goes like, well, hey, I hung in there pretty good, huh, guys? Oh, get out of here, Oba. What are you talking about? Tell your story walking, Oba. That doesn't work for me. I mean, this is not one of those things. If we're going to put Oba on a pedestal for the wins, then we got to keep that same energy on the losses.
You
and I'm not saying
accountable?
that I'm not saying Oba doesn't deserve any credit, because Oba was incredible tonight. But that's kind of Oba's thing, being incredible. And he lost. So the question is not how did he survive in that match? The question is, how does he face us? How does he face the show? How does he face Paul Heyman, knowing that we have seen him lose? It's a different thing. That is what I want to know.
We've never seen Oba coming off a loss.
Right.
Never.
Right. Oba said he was going to kill Brock Lesnar. That's what he said. I'm coming to kill you.
Definitely didn't kill him.
Brock
Still
Lesnar's alive. Brock Lesnar hit him with the 1-1. Right? So he said, we're evening out. He was sitting there smiling right at him. Brock felt good about himself. 1 + 1, he said. Standing in the aisleway, looking at Oba, realizing that he had, whether it was just coming at him with that level of aggression, whatever it is, he had cracked a code. And that he had won. You know what I would do if I was Brock Lesnar? Now I retire. I would retire now. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's just the type of person that I am. But I feel like if I didn't feel that great after retiring after the loss, I'd retire.
Retire now.
Retire on
after
the win.
A win. Go out on top.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a pretty great win, too.
Amazing win.
You know, and I saw there were a lot of people on my Discord that were like, I didn't think the match was going to go that long. Like, this is a pretty impressive victory. 7 F5s, too. Okay, you know, let Oba build back up. In the meantime, I'll be in Saskatchewan.
How does it get better than that from Brock Lesnar, you know?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if that Brock Lesnar will actually do that, but I think it would. I would imagine it's going to be tougher to get Brock Lesnar to come back. I mean, I think that Brock is back in the position where he doesn't have anything to prove.
I mean, there was a moment during the match where Brock Lesnar had that look in his eye that we saw on the way to WrestleMania. And it was when Oba Femi, after getting F5'd through the announce table, and everybody, you and me included, thought that Oba was done, finished, and getting counted out. And when he sprung up and got into the ring, the look in Brock Lesnar's eye expressed fear for a slight moment.
Yeah, and then he pinned him.
That's right.
So, I mean, it doesn't, you know what I mean? He could be expressing whatever he wants. He won. You know, you can't sit there and go like, well, you know, if you're the Cleveland Cavs, I mean, I guess they didn't have any good quarters the whole series, but if they had, let's say, if it's a basketball game, you can't go like, yeah, but we really dominated you in the first quarter. Ooh, good for you. Yeah, you know, right. You know, I don't think it carries that weight. I think Oba's got to rebuild, but if I'm Oba, I'm going to try to get my dub back.
You're coming for Brock, but if you're Brock, are you taking that on?
No.
Are you taking Oba on if you're Brock?
No. Nope. Why?
After what happened at WrestleMania, I put you away now.
No, after what happened in Italy.
I'm done with you.
I'm done. I did it. Like, if I won the lottery, I'm not playing anymore.
That's it.
I'm not spending my lotto winnings on more tickets. That's not the type of guy I am. A lot of people will get the scratch off.
And Paul Heyman is a pretty smart guy.
Pretty smart guy.
You think he's going to let Brock walk into another match? I mean...
You ever meet a guy who wins $100 on a scratch off and then buys 100 scratch offs? What are we doing, guy? We were ahead. We beat the house already. What are we doing? I guess we'll see. I do want to tell you that the action may be over in terms of in the ring, but the superstars are still bringing the heat. You can relive the biggest moments from WWE Clash in Italy and shop official superstar tees from your favorite competitors now at WWE Shop and Fanatics, all the Oba stuff, all the Roman stuff, everything you need. And you can bring home a piece of history. You can celebrate WWE Clash in Italy with the official replica championship belt. Crafted for the most passionate members of the WWE universe. Get yours now at WWE Shop and Fanatics.
I like that you said or and, because or was a little negative. You can also and.
And might as well get, while you got it, you got yourself a nice new shirt, get yourself a championship. Feel like a real winner. Speaking of champions and winners, we got a new Intercontinental champion. Beautiful moment tonight at Clash in Italy. And I believe on that note, we have our first guest. Please welcome the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Sol Ruca is here. Sol, is that the first time that you've been officially introduced as the Women's Intercontinental Champion?
Yes, it is. It sounds like it belongs there.
I mean, have you taken a beat? Like, this has been a whirlwind for you. I feel like it was, 6 weeks ago? It was the Monday after WrestleMania the last time we spoke, and you were literally looking at us and saying, yeah, I don't know. They just told me they needed me for Raw. I don't know what this means for next week. I don't know what brand I'm on at the moment. And since then, you've been in the ring with some of the best women on the roster. You're a Raw superstar. Now you're in Italy on a 5-match PLE, wrestling and beating Becky Lynch and becoming the Intercontinental Champion. How are you?
I am a mess in a good way, though. I'm just like emotional mess, physically a mess, in the best way possible. You know, I had a moment as soon as the bell rang, as soon as I hit my finish on Becky, where I just kind of got a little bit emotional, was a bit just like shocked and just like, oh my God, like I did it. Like, this is my like defining moment. This is the start of, you know, my next chapter in a sense. And yeah, just the overwhelming love and acceptance from the fans tonight was absolutely incredible, especially being so far away from home, like knowing that these people know who I am, care about me, care about my story, care about what I do. It's just absolutely incredible. I still feel like I have a lot more things to just like decompress and feel out, but it has been like go, go, go ever since I got back from the curtain. But yeah, I'm feeling good.
I mean, congratulations would certainly be an understatement for you. Did you think about this when you were in NXT for as long as you were in NXT? I'm sure, you know, everybody there has this goal. Everybody there wants to be in the position that you're in right now. Did you think about that and what it would feel like and what it would look like while you were down there? And is it the same? Is it different? Are there surprises?
So I feel like I would try not to get like, I guess like my hopes up or try and I guess like daydream about it too much, because this world, this universe is so like, it changes so frequently. You know, things happen, injuries happen. It just changes so much that it's hard to really have like a set idea of what it's going to look like when you get called up. And I kind of made it my goal to just take it day by day, step by step. And, you know, whenever they think I'm ready, that means that I'm ready, instead of being like anticipating like, oh, I want to be up on the main roster by this time, or, oh, I want to, you know, only be in NXT for this long. I kind of just like took in as much as I could in NXT. And then once I got the call up, I was like, okay, this means that I am ready. And I kind of took that and ran with it.
Congratulations, Sol, on becoming the Intercontinental Champion. I know, you know, Sam has said a lot of loving things about you. I'm very happy to see that your main roster time is just, you know, you've skyrocketed. But I do have to ask about the match tonight and your thoughts on the officiating, because there were a few moments that got a little questionable out there for both you and Becky. I mean, Jessica Carr did knock you off the top rope.
Yes. You know, this is, you know, something that Becky typically tends to do. She'll do whatever it takes, whatever means necessary to, you know, get that victory. We saw that happen where she, you know, pushed Jessica Carr into my finish. Luckily, I had a glimpse of her as soon as I went up and was able to not flip all the way through. I ended up still hitting her, but it was just like damn, like she is really willing to do whatever it takes to keep this. And, you know, I kind of knew something like that was going to happen today. Unfortunately, it did. She did, you know, give me that superplex on the top, but I eventually, you know, countered it. There was some other moments with a roll up where she pushed Jessica Carr out to the outside. That ended up backfiring on her, but you know, that's just the name of the game, and you just have to be ready for anything.
Did you feel like, I mean, I feel like this was a huge moment for you for a lot of reasons, but I also, and you could kind of hear it in Megan's tone a little bit with the way that question was worded in a more hostile fashion than I would have thought. But it feels like, and this is my observation, that when you were in NXT, and even before that, as you were coming up, there was a lot of rooting for Soul, rooting for Soul, rooting for Soul. And it feels like ever since you've been on the main roster, there are a lot of people that are kind of watching your every move, ready to pounce on anything that might go even slightly wrong and go, oh, what about this? What about that? It feels like the level of hypercriticism has gone up. Is that something that you have to kind of actively just push out to make sure you have a performance like you did tonight?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even in NXT, we get people that are, you know, watching our every move, and we get people that are, you know, leaving hate comments and all this negativity. And, you know, essentially being up on the main roster, you have more eyes, which means more hate, but also means more love. So it is something that I've had to kind of navigate, because it wasn't something that I thought of when I got signed, that it was going to be like, oh, this means that there's going to be more eyes or more people, you know, trying to nitpick everything. But at the end of the day, especially with people on social media, that's such a small percentage of our fan base. And as long as the crowd in person is happy, and, you know, everyone backstage is happy with what I do, then that's fine with me.
How does it feel to know that not only are you the Intercontinental Champion, but the way you got that title was by beating Becky Lynch for it? It's not to take anything away from anybody else, but Becky Lynch is somebody who I think has not only defined that Intercontinental Championship, but is one of the original 4 horsewomen, is one of the pillars of what this division is, and I feel like one of those kind of models that this whole thing, she was among those first women that it said, okay, this is the process. This is what we do. This is the beginning of what this evolution is. For you to have beaten Becky for the Intercontinental title, does it make it that much sweeter?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yes, she pretty much like founded what we see today within women's wrestling, and she's, you know, absolutely incredible. And I totally get her perspective of like, you know, these newcomers coming in and like getting these opportunities where she's been doing this and been putting in the work and whatnot. But, you know, times are changing with how NXT is bringing up people. And I mean, she's one of the greatest, and I'm honored to be in the ring with her. I have, you know, no hard feelings towards her. I know she was a bit hostile towards me, but I mean, I get it. She's got her own perspective, and that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, I came out victorious, and I'm, you know, thankful that she even agreed to have this match with me. Somewhat agreed. I mean, there was a little bit of pushback from her, but essentially we got the match, so I'm thankful for that.
So there was a lot of people questioning, not just Becky, but a lot of the fans as well, questioning if you were ready for this moment. Yeah. Your first PLE in Europe, your first, you know, there's 5 matches on the show and you're in one of them for the Intercontinental Championship. Do you think tonight your performance, not only did you prove that you're ready, but that this is just the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely heard people saying that stuff. You know, Becky made sure to tell me that she thought I wasn't ready, and it definitely for sure got to me a little bit. But, you know, again, at the end of the day, I'm here for a reason, and I trust myself. I trust the process that I was brought up in, and I just, you know, had to lock in and just do my best and see what happens, and, you know, prove everyone wrong that I am ready, and I'm your new Women's Intercontinental Champion.
It did get you for a second. So were you nervous out there?
Oh, absolutely. Totally. I mean, I try not to get nervous up until I'm backstage about to go out. And then as soon as my music hits, my nerves kind of go away because, you know, it's go time. I have, you know, no time to be nervous. But with how the arena is, that ramp is so long, and you're standing out there and watching Becky come out, watching her take her time all the way down. I'm like, all right, getting a little nervous now. But, you know, as soon as the bell rings, it's go time. So
I mean, do you feel like the more things go right in a match like that, the kind of easier it gets to get to the next thing? Like, for example, there was so much going on and there were so many moments throughout that match that I think people are going to have to go back and kind of look through. But I mean, I'm thinking about that moment where you had to hook your legs into the top rope while you dangled on the outside and kind of crunch up so Becky could hit and then Becky hits the post. I mean, in order for that to be effective, there are so many tiny little steps that would have to go right just to make this one moment. Is that how your brain works with it? Do you go like, okay, that worked. Now I got the confidence to move on to the next thing, or are you just truly in the moment?
Absolutely. I think especially like the first thing in the match, I feel like once I do like the first bump or the first, if I'm on top, the first clothesline, whatever it is, once that happens, I'm like, okay, I got this. Like, we're in it. It's go time. And then from then on, I try and just, like be in the moment as much as I can. I mean, I do still, have those moments of hesitation or, getting nervous, but essentially, the first thing, once that's out of the way, it's go time. Same with like promos. As soon as I say the first line, I'm chilling.
It's probably too early to even ask, but have you thought at all about what you want the Intercontinental Championship to look like with it around your waist? What do you want this reign to kind of look like with you as champion?
I mean, I definitely want to be a fighting champion. I want to defend this thing as many times as I physically possibly can. I was a double champion on NXT with the Women's Speed Championship and the North American Championship. And I feel like my reigns were not up to par with how I feel like I can be a champion. So I'm wanting to kind of prove myself a little bit more as a champion this time. I want to, give championship opportunities to literally whoever comes and whoever's ready. I don't want to be the person that doesn't, that says like, you're not ready to be here. Shots at Becky Lynch for, doing that to me. But, I want to be the person that's, open and, potentially bringing some girls from NXT to defend this title.
I love it. Well, Sol, I mean, congratulations again. What a night. What an amazing moment for you. I hope you soak it all in and take a moment to reflect on tonight and the last several weeks. And because, tomorrow is Monday Night Raw and everything is going to be move after that. So congrats. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sol.
Thank you, guys.
Big thanks to the new Intercontinental Champion, Sol Ruca. Clash in Italy, that's where she won the title. Clash in Italy brings WWE spectacle to the heart of Torino with one of the boldest and most visually ambitious slam releases ever created. Inspired by the grandeur, fashion, art, architecture, and energy of Italy, this box features an unforgettable lineup of cards such as Renaissance Base, Marble Signature, postcards from Italy, Grapplers of Wrath, and much more. Clash in Italy blends WWE intensity with timeless European style for a truly one-of-a-kind collecting experience. Start collecting these cards and more in WWE Slam by Topps now. How you doing?
There's an officiating problem
With
in the WWE.
what? They're so distracting that champions can't concentrate on their matches?
I mean, Jessica Kakar getting out of the ring.
Kakar?
Kakar. I'm just filled with so many emotions.
Go ahead.
It just bothers me. She's there to do her job.
Right.
She goes to get out of harm's way to look out for who? Number one, herself. Becky had Sol pinned for, I was counting, it was at least 5 seconds on my count.
Okay, well,
but Jessica couldn't get in there.
I gotta grab
and then
you a
for
stopwatch.
Sol to even say, hey, I think the officiating was okay, like Sol was impacted by it as well.
Well, she won, so obviously she was fine
won,
with
but
it,
she
how
was
it went.
impacted. She was on top of the rope, and then because Jessica hit the ropes, it knocked Sol off.
Yeah, Becky put her hands on an official.
But who knocked her off?
Becky, by
No.
using Jessica Carr's body.
Jessica Carr knocked
That'd be-
her off.
that'd
I
be
didn't see the Becky part.
That'd be
I
like
didn't
if
see-
I threw this water bottle at the rope and I was like, I can't believe that water bottle.
I didn't see Becky. I didn't see her do that.
Also, if Jessica Carr had just stayed still, she would have gotten knocked down and wouldn't have been able to count at all.
Get in the right spot. Isn't that part of the job?
I suppose, but I mean, to get out of that spot is necessary.
I don't know. It just seems like these types of things only happen to Jessica Carr.
Why is it that Becky decided to literally start the match arguing with Jessica Carr?
Because it's like For Christ's sakes, how many times is this woman going to interfere in my matches? And again,
She didn't.
She's out here?
The match literally had just started.
Yeah, but there's a history there. We all know that. There's a history.
Oh, and she thought the best way to
do you
avoid that would be to go like, okay, let me start a conflict immediately.
Well, let me get in your face and lay down the law and let you know what tonight's going to be like.
And you're gonna do that to the official.
Yeah, she's got to explain it to her.
What would happen in any sport if you did that to the referee or umpire?
They have a history, right? They have a history.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been in Becky's situation across all sports. When you get to the level where you're considered the greatest of all time, and it's not just me saying it.
Who else?
Other people are saying it.
Yeah, right.
Sports Illustrated says it.
Really?
The Bleacher Report says it. But when you get to that level, when
Wow.
you're considered the GOAT, a lot of times you get calls.
They consider her the GOAT?
You get calls.
Oh.
Patrick Mahomes, he always gets calls, right?
Right.
Becky the cookie doesn't crumble that way.
That's the old
It doesn't.
the old saying.
It doesn't
the
crumble
cookie
that
doesn't
way.
crumble that way.
So when all is said and done, we're going to remember that Becky had to do it the hard way.
Did what? Lose?
Come on.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. That's
She lost tonight.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. Saw Ruka won the Intercontinental Championship. It was great.
I don't know about great. We'll see.
It
We'll
was
see.
Awesome.
You're already saying it's great. We'll see.
Soul Snatcher. Boom. Laid her out. Something fierce.
It's just disappointing that after all of this, we're talking about the officials.
You are. I'm not.
It's the story.
We had the champion on the show and you were talking about the officiating.
Soul was impacted by it. She's knocked off the top rope.
But you're the one who's.
Knocked off the top rope.
Well, I'll tell you.
Terrible.
I will.
Could have been dangerous too. Thankfully, nobody got hurt.
I mean, Becky got hurt enough that she was down for the 3 count. That was Soul, though, that did that. Soul Snatcher. Doesn't feel good. Ask Becky next time you talk to her. I will say, speaking of not feeling good, I would imagine physically, not great. Emotionally, probably awesome. Last night on Noche de los Grandes.
Oh.
I mean, I would just say this. If anybody listening or watching has not seen Noche de los Grandes, the AAA show that went down on Saturday night, do everything in your power. It's on YouTube. Watch it. Grande Americano versus original Grande Americano was maybe my favorite match I've seen all year. It was so incredible. Such incredible storytelling throughout. Just such passion. The audience in Monterey was unbelievable. And in the end, seeing OG Americano forced to be unmasked, revealing, of course, Chad Gable was under there. But both of them, as I believe Rey Mysterio said, it's not máscara contra máscara, sin sangre. Blood, tears, sweat, violence, comedians.
Love.
With
Andrea Bazarte.
Oh, my God. Everything about it was so Pimpinella. Everything about it was so great. So, I mean, did you feel the same way?
I loved every second.
It was amazing.
I mean, my favorite match maybe ever.
It was everything that makes wrestling awesome, especially, and I'll find a podcast where I can spend real time, but even considering where El Grande Americano started as kind of a character and then where the new Grande Americano went and how this thing has evolved into one of the great wrestling stories of the year that has the entire audience of AAA just transfixed.
Mexico is
brilliant.
Captivated by El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
There were murals of this guy.
Of course, yeah.
It's amazing. From the entrances to the unmasking and everything in between. Fantastic.
Unbelievable. Make sure that you guys go out and see it. Speaking of officials, I think we can both agree that Dan Engler blew it tonight.
Of course. Yeah.
Dan Engler
really blew it.
Blew it in the WWE Championship match between Cody and Gunther. And we were talking all week about this is a something's got to give scenario. I can't picture Cody, the great hero of all heroes, losing the WWE Championship after beating Randy Orton at WrestleMania. But I can't picture Gunther, after everything that he's done, losing this match at Clash in Italy. Then Dan Engler was there to blow it.
I mean, we saw it right away. We said his foot's out. His foot's out.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a great match. Seeing them both just like leave it all out there. I mean, at one point, you know.
The home game for Cody, which we didn't know.
No.
Heading into this match, that was the big question, especially because it's in Italy. Gunther's from Austria. People in Europe love to see Gunther.
And I found that they were happy to see Gunther. They were thrilled to see Cody Rhodes.
That's right.
They were singing his song. They were cheering for him. They were buying what Cody was selling.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to see that. We saw Cody kick out of the power bomb. We saw Gunther kick out of a crossroads. We saw Cody have to survive that sleeper hold.
I mean, the sleeper holds were just, I mean, there was a moment during the match where no matter what Cody did to escape a sleeper hold by Gunther just had another one.
Yes, exactly right.
Had another one ready for him.
Exactly right. I mean, yeah, there was that one moment where he completely broke it, and then Gunther just like sat right up, like almost snapped up, and just locked Cody again. I mean, it was, and you could see too at points in the match when that sleeper hold would get broken, not just the energy that was getting zapped out of Cody's body, but the energy that was getting zapped out of Gunther's body as well, that he was putting every bit of force that he could into that lock. So it was really, really great. And then we see Cody hit a crossroads. He goes for the cover. Gunther's foot is clearly outside the ropes. 1, 2, 3. Cody wins. I cannot, for the life of me, imagine that this is the way Cody would want to win a WWE championship. I mean, look, like his knee is barely in the ring.
I mean, Cody's such an honorable man and really takes pride in doing things the right way. I mean, you even see when he's making his way to the ring, stopping to shake everybody's hand. I mean, Cody wants to have a win that's honorable.
I mean, forget about honorable. There may be more of Gunther's body outside the ring than inside the ring looking at this visual. It's insane.
Gunther cannot be happy with what transpired in Italy. And Cody probably isn't so happy to call that a win.
No, I wouldn't imagine. I know that he did apparently go on the post show and say that he would give Gunther a rematch anytime Gunther wanted it, which I think is definitely called for. I don't think that that's one of those things. I know that the sort of automatic, the days of the automatic rematch are gone, but I would say that this one for sure calls for a rematch. It's something that I want to see because I at this point, when you have a WWE where you have all these entities now that coexist, right? There are all these forces. We saw it with Jacob and Roman. Both forces have to exist. We have to find out who's better.
We saw it with Brock and Oba.
I would put Cody and Gunther right there with it, where it's like, okay, Gunther, if you're going to be the career killer, if you're going to destroy everybody, you have to be able to beat Cody. And Cody, if you're going to be QB1, you have to be able to beat the career killer. So I think I think that it's necessary. I think as much as Gunther should have like a fair title match, I think it's just as important for Cody to prove that he can beat Gunther with Gunther's full body inside the ring.
Absolutely.
You know?
And that's why I said I don't think Cody is walking away tonight thinking, oh, yay, I won.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
No.
I don't think so. But we'll see. I guess we'll see on Friday on SmackDown, if not before. And then, of course, somebody else that I mean, here's the thing, and I noticed this in Spain as well on SmackDown. They are ready to boo Jade Cargill in Europe.
Oh yeah, they are.
I mean,
and they love their mommy
all over. They love Rhea Ripley. What's not to love? Before we get into it, I do want to tell you that Topps now is capturing major milestones and viral moments from the biggest WWE events. As they always do before PLEs, Topps put out a Clash in Italy poster card featuring none other than the man himself, Cody Rhodes. Collectors who buy the poster cards have a chance at receiving rainbow foil short prints and gold super short prints, limited to just 26 copies each. These poster cards are available only until Monday, June 1st. As always, make sure you're following @Topps on social and sign up for notifications on Topps.com for the biggest moment cards from Clash in Italy this weekend. And tune into Raw Recap for more card info and graphics. Beautiful card with Cody out there in front of Italy. So I think that this Rhea Ripley Jade Cargill match Probably my favorite Jade Cargill match I've ever seen.
You and I are in lockstep there.
And
Yep.
pretty high up on my list of Rhea Ripley matches as well. Seeing the heavy boos for Jade, the big cheers for Rhea Ripley. I mean, like, Jade Cargill just coming in aggressive.
It was a one-sided affair for a while.
There was chain links that were just like raining off of her attire.
I mean, she was working Rhea Ripley's back.
Yeah.
Oh, she looked like she was in agonizing pain.
Yes.
You know, Rhea, she just keeps fighting back.
She won't stop. We saw B-Fab and Mi Chin make their appearance known. At one point, they stopped they stopped Rhea Ripley from getting a pin on Jade Cargill by putting B-Fab putting Jade's foot on the rope. Of course, the referee caught her and sent them away. But before they could get sent away, Charlotte Flair comes out to kind of even the odds.
Which is just such a wild thought, right? That
Yes.
Charlotte Flair is there. Obviously, after watching the last couple weeks, we understand where Charlotte and Rhea's relationship is.
Well, you hate when women are friends with each other.
Oh,
So
that's
how do
not
you
true.
feel?
That's not true at all.
It's just what you've put out.
No, it's not true at all. I'm just
Oh.
talking back to, that sit down interview that was very tense before Survivor Series. And you, Mr. Everything Counts,
Everything.
always like to remind people of that. I don't forget about the tension between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. And although they're operating on the same page right now, it's just wild to see that right now,
You didn't say that-
given their history.
You didn't say that
is
about
all.
Io Sky and Rhea Ripley as
I
well?
pointed it out. Yes, I just like to. I like to point out the past of people. All right, sue me.
I'm
I
not going to sue
remember
you.
things.
I'm not going to sue you.
I remember things.
I'm not going
okay?
to file a lawsuit. I'm glad
It has
you
nothing to
remember
do with
things.
women being friends.
Oh, okay. All right, then I misread. I
Thank you.
misread.
Thank you.
Sue me.
I don't think you're giving off tank top energy. All right,
Maybe not,
that's why I
maybe
wore my tank top. I got to hold it down for the fort.
Maybe it's it's a good energy. But Charlotte absolutely on Rhea Ripley's side, absolutely there to have Rhea's back, and part of that is probably because Alexa Bliss got taken out by Jade on SmackDown. So it's like, okay, now there is still like this thing is unifying to an extent. I think Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, but Rhea returning the favor by putting Charlotte returning the favor by putting Rhea's foot on the rope, interrupting a pinfall attempt. That way the odds were evened. And eventually you do get that riptide that allows Rhea Ripley to retain the WWE Women's Championship. I felt like, I don't think this is over, but I also felt like the way things kind of canceled each other out with the feet being put on the ropes, it's a pretty clear-cut. Rhea Ripley has now beaten Jade Cargill twice.
That's right.
In championship matches.
There were a couple of really exciting moments, I thought, during this match. You pointed out it was your favorite Jade Cargill match. I'm right there in lockstep with you. I thought, like, when Jade Cargill found her way out of the riptide and hit a DDT,
Oh.
that was a moment where I said, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. Also, she went up for a power bomb shortly thereafter that.
And there were moments in the match, like those moments specifically, that were not smooth in the best possible way because it really gave the impression of two people that did not like each other, that were fighting each other. Fights don't look smooth.
No.
And I thought that translated really, really well in this match.
Yeah, but to your point, Rhea Ripley now has beaten Jade Cargill twice.
Yes. Yeah. 2 PLEs, 2 championship matches. I mean,
I don't know how Jade goes barking back up Rhea's tree again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the brackets yet. I don't know if Jade Cargill is involved in Queen of the Ring. Maybe that's a possibility.
I'm sure Jade's not too happy with Charlotte.
Okay, she is. So
Okay.
and that could be a case, right? If Jade Cargill is not going to necessarily be granted a rematch right away, if she's able to get that Queen of the Ring crown, she goes to SummerSlam, and assuming Rhea Ripley is still the champion, gets that championship match. So maybe that's the plan, but there's I think probably a lot of other women on that roster that are going to try to make sure Jade Cargill does not win Queen of the Ring because they would like to win Queen of the Ring. But I tell you, King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring matches, tournament matches start tomorrow night.
Bracketology, baby. Let's go.
You know I love brackets.
Oh, yeah.
Love brackets.
Love a tournament.
That tournament kicks off tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. I cannot wait to see what that begins to look like, as well as what is going on with everybody, whether it's Oba, whether it's the Bloodline, whether it's Becky and Sol Ruca, where they all stand. We will find out tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, and then Megan, you and I will be here to recap all of it on the WWE Now Raw recap. So make sure you're subscribed across all audio platforms, hitting like and leaving comments on the YouTube video. We'll see you tomorrow.